So if you're like me, you really appreciate a good cup of espresso. I have had this Cuisinart over here for probably about, I'd say probably about 2 years. Unfortunately, recently the power button went out, so I haven't been able to really take advantage of it for a bit, and I really need my coffee, so I've been forced to go up the street. You know, one thing about these old, espresso machines, they're nice. These new ones are cheaper and they're pretty strong, but the wands tend to get really nasty and dirty if you don't clean them, intensively. Every second you get done with milk, and over time, if you lose the sleeve, it becomes even more dingy and disgusting. So, and I've obviously cleaned a lot, but over time, it just, unless you scrub it like a crazy madman, it ends up getting dirty. So, in my new search for a machine, I got online, did some research, and found that in Europe there seems to be quite a big craze on this device called the Nespresso Citiz, and really anything that's Nespresso. And what Nespresso is essentially is a company. It's part of the Nestle company that creates coffee in these unique little pods. So this is and I hate pod machines normally, I'll be honest with you, but these pods are made out of aluminum, and they basically put the coffee in and then seal it up. So you're not faced with having to store the coffee and worry about if it's gets bad after usually about a week or two of time. So it's nice and sealed. But the units are cool. They come in all kinds of flavors. So over here I've got all kinds of different colors. There's the dark colors like this one, obviously, which is black, or this dark green one. This basically indicates the intensity. So as you get lighter all the way here, which is kind of an almond flavor, basically they range from strength, if you will. So if you like a really strong coffee, you'd probably want to get something like this dark green one, which is really dark and strong, or the black one. This is called Rossetto. Rossetto. They're all in in Italian, so I don't speak very well Italian. So, but while I was in Europe, one of the things I did notice was the strong, really good coffee that was there. I'm not talking about burnt Starbucks coffee. I'm talking about really good coffee in Europe, and this machine obviously is meant really for that. So, getting on to the actual machine, it has in the front here a pod kind of discarder. So you'll notice there's about six. There's 6 pods in there right now that have been discarded after I'm going to take them out here because they're kind of in the way. The pods basically, after you get done using the machine, the pods basically shoot out the bottom so that you can get rid of them. But the top here is where you load the pods. So I'll just kind of take you up here. It's just a hole essentially. The pods go inside the hole, and what happens is once the pods are inside there, it pokes 3 holes in the back and perforates the front, and basically expels coffee out throughout the pod. And it's 19 bar pump, which is a lot stronger than something like this. I think this is maybe 12 if max. Not a very strong espresso pusher, but this one has some really good push on it, and so it's able to expel the espresso out quite well. So I'm going to make basically a cappuccino and kind of give you an idea of how it works. So this happens to be my favorite pod, and the one that I use the most. I actually bought these in bulk, so I bought several of these ones because I like the taste a lot. So essentially I'll put the pod up in the inside, press the machine down. I actually need to warm it up, so you're going to have to bear with me a bit here. But you'll notice here on the top there's basically 2 buttons. This button on the left here is for a short pull, and this is for a longo, which is a long pull. This basically gives you more of that American style coffee that probably many people are used to. In the back here, I got this with milk. This is called the Citiz with milk, and this is essentially a milk frother. So I've already actually added some almond milk, which, by the way, for any of you that may or may not have tried to whip almond milk, is really, really difficult to whip. It's very painful because doesn't have the consistency of milk. Milk doesn't really get along with my stomach, so I tend to not really like to drink milk a lot. Down here is where you would store the different attachments. So right now is the whipper, but inside on this unit is this is what you use for a traditional latte. So that's available. And you can get the unit without this milk attachment, but it's great to have. I like to drink my coffee with milk. Some people don't. So getting onto the unit, so it's all warmed up now. I'm going to start the milk up, and you can hear that. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's really, really quiet. Really, really quiet. Like I can barely even hear it, which is kind of nice. It's not like a traditional frother, steam frother, which is, making a bunch of noise and sounds like, the demons of hell screaming. It's really loud. So anyway, we'll put down here, kind of give you guys an idea of how this machine works. So I'm just going to take a traditional pull. So I just push this button once, and the coffee begins coming out. It makes a really good crema. It is just, the crema on this coffee is super thick. I actually was really surprised at how thick it is. You can't really see in the cup. You kind of get a sense, a little bit, but it is really thick. It's very nice. Usually, at least a couple millimeters on the top of crema, which is really, obviously, very nice to have. This is my favorite coffee shop, which is Mirage Coffee. They're actually on Vancouver Island, so they're unfortunately unavailable here in BC, which kind of sucks. Which means I'm faced with using this machine to try to emulate. But anyway, the coffee, or excuse me, the milk. So as I stated, almond milk is really tough to whip. You just have a look in there. That is really thick, and I'm just going to pour this out so you get a good shot. Just super thick, super, super good. Probably one of the best cappuccinos that I've had outside of Italy. It is that good. It tastes that good. So that's it. This is again the let me see if I pronounce it right here. Nespresso Citiz with milk review. So cheerio.